have a system monitor which is responsible for crash or instance recovery. And the system monitor is also responsible for dynamic service registration. And we have a checkpoint background process. So this process, so what it does, like the most important function of the checkpoint is to keep the database in a consistent mode. So every time a transaction is carried out and completed, Oracle assigns a system change number or an SCN to that specific transaction that like is specific to the transaction. And once it does that, the checkpoint is responsible for updating our control files and our data file headers. So that's what the checkpoint does, and that event helps to synchronize our database. And we have a memory up here. Has a lot of different components, but there are three mandatory ones. We have a shared pool, and the shared pool here has a library cache and a data dictionary cache, and we'll get to know what they do. We have a database buffer cache. We'll get to know what it does. And we have a read log buffer. So every change that occurs, if you go into your database right now and try to make any changes, all those changes will be logged in here in a read log buffer before it's even written down to our read log files on disk. So that's like an overview of this architecture. So make sure you understand the architecture. Make sure you know the mandatory memory structures, the mandatory background processes, and our physical files, which make up our database, including our logical files as well. So if you have not mastered this, make sure that's not even understanding everything in detail, but just knowing like how to draw up this architecture without looking. If you are not able to do that, then make sure you start doing that tomorrow. Like do it as many times as possible. Like as many times as possible as you like within the day, and make sure that by the weekend you're actually able to do that on your own. So if any questions, I'll take those. Otherwise, we'll go to Alapati. Make sure you're taking notes, paying attention to the things that I'm talking about. Or if you have a PDF version that you can highlight, make sure you're highlighting and you save after the class so that you know exactly what you have to study. Because the chapter is really broad. But again, like I said, it's up to you to read up everything like I did, or you want to just read what is important. But I wouldn't recommend that. Read the entire chapter as many times as possible. And like I said, from Linux, things change. It's not like SQL. So if you were not putting in time when we were doing SQL, then you'll be so lost because you need to put in more time now. It's very easy to do this if you can just set your goals and have a plan and make sure you're implementing that plan. Oops. So any questions? Let's see here. Adele, I see your hand up. Do you have a question? Adele? Sorry, my hand is not up. Okay, that was probably an error. Adele, make sure you review Linux. Okay. All right. So the Oracle database architecture, or like, is exactly what we just talked about in that colorful diagram. So in this chapter, we'll start from the database structures and then go down to our background processes and then to our memory structures. So the Oracle database itself consists of our physical files and our logical files, and it's all here. So we have this logical files, and we have our physical. So one thing I want you guys to understand is that the logical database structures are there to help us manage our physical storage. So if we didn't have logical structures, then our physical data will be all over the place, so disorganized. So the logical is there to help us manage our physical. So look at the logical like a house. Because we have a house, we're able to have like a separate section for kitchen, a separate section for the bedroom and the bathrooms, and an office and a living room and stuff like that. So just imagine you having bedrooms and or your stove to cook, your washer to clean clothes, your bed to sleep on, your closet, your shower or your bathtub and stuff like that. Imagine you having all of that, but no house. So no house to say this is a bedroom, or this is a living room, or this is a kitchen. Nothing to like store your things there to make sense. And things will all be hanging out, and everything will be all over the place. You will have your TV, but you won't have a living room with chairs, and it's going to be chaotic. So just look at the logical database structures like that. It's there to help you manage your physical. So, and who has an idea what logical structures are? Some like, just name our logical structures in Oracle. Anybody who is not an old student? Because I know there are a lot of visiting students here who could be teachers as well. All right, Renee, I see your hand up.
Yeah, our database tables and logical structures, indexes.
All right, so a table is a logical structure, but I want I want you to give another name to it, like the logical name itself. So what does a table represent? So a table is logical, but then it's represented by something. Okay. Any other person wants to try? Ahmed? Donald? Hope?
Yeah, that's a table space.
All right, great. So table space is one. Anyone knows the two others or three others?
Okay.
Adele, I see your hand up. Adele, is that an error? JD?
What about an external or segment or data block?
All right, great. So we have, you already named all of them. So we have data blocks, we have extents, segments, and table spaces. So blocks are the smallest logical structures, and table spaces are the largest. Then we have extents and we have segments. So Renee, a segment is a table. So when you said a table is one, that can be represented by a segment.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like you guys to go over the architecture very well. Whatever I tell you guys today will not help you guys at all. It will only help you if you already read ahead of the class. But even if you read ahead of the class, make sure you go over it again at home so many times. If you capture this information now, you'll be great with the rest of the courses that we have left. So these are the logical structures. We have data blocks, we have extents, we have segments, and we have table spaces. So data blocks, like I said, is the smallest building block of Oracle. So it's the smallest logical component of a database, and it consists of bytes. Consists of specific number of bytes. And each block contains 124 bytes. So each block contains 124 bytes, and Oracle recommends that